Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Cherika Brown, of course, and we're on another episode of Cherika Be Talking, cause I be talking. And today's episode is going to be about grieving the loss of a pet. Just being quite honest, y'all, contrary to popular belief, I am not a pet person. When I was younger, my parents bought me fish. I even had birds. I was always afraid of cats, which I do believe is taught because I watch children fearlessly play with animals all the time. And because me and my grandmother are very close, we're like this. I think that I picked up being afraid of cats from her just because my aunt, my mom's sister, she's afraid of like cats and dogs. But my grandma, she does not play. When she see a cat, she won't get out the car or anything. So being that I'm real tight with my grandma and I was around her a lot, I think I became afraid of cats just because my grandma is afraid of cats. But I'm at a point in my life where I don't want nobody bringing no cat to me saying, look, it's nice. And it's just, I don't want to deal with a cat. It's just like people who are afraid of dogs. I respect that, so I don't have my dogs jumping all over people or anything. If people tell me they are afraid of dogs, I don't try to force my dogs on them, so I don't want people forcing their cat on me. But I like dogs, but I never loved dogs. It wasn't until I was like a preteen when my daddy came home with a brindle fur friend in a back seat, and he was laid under in the back seat. So I went in, I immediately jumped back out of fear because the brindle color made me think that it was a cat. When he called me to look in the car, I'm like, I know he not pranking me. I thought maybe he was scaring me bringing a cat to the house because he knew I was afraid of him. But it was indeed a dog. So we end up naming him Tiger, and that was our very first pit bull. This was the start of a love that I never knew I could have. My first time losing a pet was when I was in college when Tiger died and crossed what is called the Rainbow Bridge. I'll never forget it because when they called to tell me I was on my way to hot yoga with my friend Toby at the time, this was 2018. It's now 2024, and I still have yet to go to a hot yoga class till this day. I was literally walking out the door when I got the phone call from my mama. I don't even know what she said. I can't remember what she said, but I'll never forget how I felt because I couldn't believe how I felt about an animal. I remember locking myself in my room, my dorm at the time, and just crying the day away. I don't remember how long it took me to grieve his loss, but I was truly hurt for some time. And they always say no matter how much you try to prepare yourself for death, you can never truly prepare yourself for it. And that's so true because I came home that day before Tiger died, which was completely random because I never came home during the week when I was in college. I came back for something that I had to do business wise. And when I came to the backyard, I'll never forget it was National Pet Day because I was using a little Snapchat filter or whatever. But Tiger just completely did not look like himself. He looked tired, he looked very old. And I just was like, he is definitely sick, but I felt helpless because I really didn't know what to do. Of course, I should have took him to the vet or something, possibly just to get him checked out. But I just was like, petting him, feeding him, giving him water. But I was just like, Tiger don't look like himself. So it was no surprise to me. I was like, he was on his last leg. But when I got that call the next day, it just was like, I could not believe what was coming out my mama's mouth. We had other dogs after Tiger. Nikki, who's a 15-year-old plus Shih Tzu, she's still hanging in there. I still take care of Nikki to this day. We had another pit bull named Capone, who only lived a few years. And then there was Champ, who recently passed away from lymphoma cancer. Champ's death really hit me hard. I basically grew up with Champ. He's like my little big brother. Most people call me a dog mom, but Champ was trained by my daddy, and I took over the responsibility of keeping him company once I graduated college and came back home because my dad is always working, and he honestly don't really have time to have a dog, but he was the one that trained our dogs, and he's the reason they obey us, basically. So when I reflect, I think part of me felt bad for being absent when Tiger died, but I didn't realize the connection I was signing up for when I took on the responsibility of being the dog whisperer of the house and just taking care of the dogs. I graduated college in 2018, and other than the few times that I traveled or went out of town or went to a different country, I walked Champ faithfully twice every single day. Even in 2020, when I had COVID and I could barely get out the bed, I was committed. I'm one of those people, once I commit to something or I devote myself to something, I stick to it and I give it 100%. I have to give it all or nothing. I'm an all or nothing type of girl. So I walk him once in the morning and once in the evening. And walks were his absolute favorite. I can still see him like zooming in the backyard. I enjoy just going full speed when he sees me walk in the backyard and he hear the sound of his leash. He had like the little choke chain. So when he heard that sound, that was a symbol of it's time to walk. So he would start running full speed all around the yard in excitement. And although I didn't always feel like walking him, being that I am a loner, I felt a sense of joy spending time with him on our walks, just clearing my mind, getting fresh air. Sometimes I would listen to the Bible app or, pray and talk to God, or I'll just FaceTime a friend while I'm walking. And he was like my emotional support dog. He was a part of my everyday routine. Oftentimes, humans let you down, and a person could wake up one day and feel completely different about you. But no matter how much I discipline my dog or how moody I may be, his excitement to see me and his love for me was unconditional. I always say humans can learn a lesson from about forgiveness from dogs, because you can discipline a dog one moment and the next very moment they act as if you weren't just yelling at them, like they're all in your face, happy, tail wagging, smiling. And it's just a joy to have a dog as a friend. It's really a man's best friend. Being that I'm not a pet person, because I understand the hard work, attention, emotional connection, and money they require, I had my mind made up that I would never buy another dog after Nikki and Champ. Then in November of 2022, a one-eyed little 2.5-year-old blue Frenchie showed up at my doorstep. What are the odds? I knew these were expensive dogs, so I immediately went knocking on all of my neighbors' doors to see if anyone lost their dog. I even posted about it on the neighborhood page. No one ever claimed her. I took her to the vet, got her little one eye checked out, got her shots. After a month, my mom gave her the name Pikachu. I was set on not taking on the responsibility of another dog, so I tried to keep my distance from her in the house and just let everybody else play with her. And I'm just, like asking, well, who gonna buy this dog? Who can I give her to? And the people that were reaching out to me, I knew they were basically trying to breed her. And she was a really sweet, nice dog, and I just don't think that I wanted her in the hands of a breeder or possibly a backyard breeder. I just wanted her to be taken care of, and I had a little soft spot for her with her one eye and everything. So it was hard not to fall in love with her. As soon as I got attached, someone decided to claim her. It completely broke my heart. I was walking out the door to let her use the restroom. Man stopped at the stop sign and he started to bat back. I said in my mind immediately, this is his dog. This is his dog. So he basically claimed her, and long story short, I don't think they really wanted her, because I believe they saw her with us. We had been walking her and everything faithfully in the neighborhood. So I'm pretty sure that wasn't their first time seeing her, being that the way our neighborhood is made, it's only so many people that live here and that come in and out, and it's very limited. So I'm pretty sure I saw that car before. I've seen the person, wife and everything. But they didn't really want her. They just wanted some money. So she ended up back where she belonged. And I am a person of faith. I believe in Jesus Christ. So I thought to myself, no way God is adding more to my plate than I can handle, when I was already complaining about taking care of 2 senior dogs. Something it's about to happen. I just knew it. Something is about to happen because I love Nikki and Champ. Don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of work taking on the responsibility of two dogs, trying to be an entrepreneur, and also working. So it's a lot when just taking care of them alone and then having to do my own stuff that's not set in stone, and I don't have a very set schedule. I'm having to be different places. Even when I'm out, sometimes having a time with my friends, I have to be aware that I need to get home so that I can walk the dog for it's too late, or so they don't use the restroom in the cage because they are elderly. So Nikki's bladder is much weaker now. So it's just a lot to consider. It's like my life revolves around taking care of my two dogs. They are like my life. But I knew something was about to happen. Nikki and Champ both would have good, great, bad, and terrible days, being that they were older. Champ weight started to fluctuate a lot, and Nikki will have days where she doesn't eat at all, which is totally not normal because she loves to eat. Nikki loves to eat. After my birthday trip to Hawaii in November 2023, I started to notice a major decline in Champ's health. Personally, I was dealing with other changes in my life, so it was like two things hitting me at once. I immediately scheduled him a vet visit. He was diagnosed with lymphoma, and it was recommended to put him down the same day. I sat in the vet and tears rolled down my eyes, but I couldn't make the decision to do that. It was a Wednesday, and I told them that I would bring him back on that Friday because they told me they were almost certain he wouldn't make it through the weekend. My heart was completely broken. I could not believe this was real life. Of course, Friday came and I couldn't take him. I knew Champ. I knew he had more fight in him. I took him home and I made him a hospice at the house. All of November and December, I spent as much time with him as possible, gave him his favorite table foods. As the days passed, I saw him look more tired. He became weaker, lethargic, and then one day I realized that he no longer looked like himself, and he was only holding on for me. I had to let him go. I'm sorry. It was the hardest decision I have had to make, and I cried so many nights. On December 29th, 2023, he crossed the Rainbow Bridge, and all of the moments that I shared with him forever lives in my heart. I felt like my life was kind of flipped upside down in so little time, and I must say that Pikachu has been the most clingy, friendly, playful, and emotional, supportive dog that I never knew I needed. After the losses I experienced in 2023, she came in my life when I was in what I thought was a happy place, but when everything went downhill, she became a major source of my overall joy, and I'm grateful to God for her. Nikki is still hanging in there, and the old lady is so funny because she's still the princess of the dog kennel. Blind and all, she remains bossy and stubborn old Nikki. But I am here. Here I am. Little Miss, I'm never getting another dog again with another dog, and she is truly heaven sent. I want to end this by saying, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, because he has already made a plan and mapped it out for your life. And you got to trust his plan is the best for your life. But that's all I have for y'all today. I hope if you do have a pet or you've experienced pet loss, that this give you some type of hope. And just keep your faith in God, y'all. And I'm going to leave y'all with Jeremiah 29:11. For surely I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans for your welfare and not for harm, to give you a future with hope. God bless y'all, and y'all know I'll be back because I'll be talking. Peace.